Right, I'm glad you're here. And if you're here, you are probably looking for a better way to do this. So one thing I want to look at, we are talking about arithmetic. I am increasing in nature, so in other words, I want to figure out the adder. I want to figure out how much I am adding to go from 20 to 40. So that's going to be 20 that I need to add. And third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh term, 1, 2, 3, 4 times is what I'm adding. So you can essentially take 40 minus 20 to figure out how much you need to add, and then do 7 minus 3 to figure out how many times you can add it, which will be 5. So 5 is our adder. I do need to go backwards, 2, 3, 3, 1, 0 to figure out what my initial value is. So I'm going to, this was 20, so this is 15, and this is 10, and this is 5. So that should give us what we're looking for. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 16 here. Oops. So for 16, it's geometric, and I am going from an 8 to a 1, so I'm going to be dividing each time to get there. And I want to figure out 8 times what is equal to 1. So I need to ultimately go 1/8, but 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 1, 2, 3 multipliers to make that happen. So in other words, x times x times x equals 1/8. So in other words, x cubed equals 1/8. When I take the cube root of this, the cube root of 1 is 1, but the cube root of 8 is 2. So what I have here is 2 is actually my multiplier. Let's see if that makes sense. I start off with 8, and then I divide by 1/2, so that, or I divide by 2, or multiply by 1/2, so that's 4, and then 2, and then 1, so that looks like it's a thing. Remember, I need to find my 0th term, which would be 16, and this allows me to know how many of the 1/2 I'm going to multiply by, whereas this is saying how many of the 5s I'm going to add. All right, let's go ahead and look at the last one. The last one, we're talking about 2 different sequences. So let's go ahead and we're talking about our first and second term, 4 and then 12. If I want it to be a multiplier or a geometric, it's going to be times 3 each time. I do need to find my initial value, which is 4/3. So if I multiply this way, I divide this way. But I also could have added, so I could have added 8. I again need to find my initial term, which would be -4. So again, you've got to just kind of figure out what is your adder or your multiplier, and then also figure out your initial value.